Hi there, Claire Downham, your wellbeing guide with today's step from stress and anxiety to inner peace. And today I am feeling a little bit strange. I can't really put my finger on it. Feeling a little bit uneasy, not really anxious, just a little bit like, around your shoulders, a little bit like something's not okay. And I would have in the past gone into overdrive to try and find out where that was coming from. So I definitely can remember coming out of a phase of depression. If ever I felt a little bit demotivated or didn't really want to get out of bed, I would think I was getting depressed again. So I would definitely see that there was some illness there, that there was something wrong with me. And I would then go into that analysis and I would go into my story of why I felt a particular way. And that would be really easy to do today. Why do I feel a little bit uneasy? Why don't I feel okay? Is it the moon? Is it the Mercury in something? Or is it the menopause? Is it because something happened when I was 3? Or, that analysis. And I think what happens when you do that is you feel more of the same feeling that you've already got, because it is like picking a scab. It's like you're looking at that uneasy feeling, that feeling you don't like, and you're trying to pick at it. You're picking at it and picking at it and picking at it, and then it just feels worse. So there's 2 things there I would have done in the past with this uneasy feeling that I have today. The first one is that I would have analysed it to death. And some of the time, if that lasted more than a day or so, which of course it does when you start analysing it to death, it tends to last longer, I would have contacted my therapist of some description and gone and got some help to shift this uneasy feeling that I had. Or, as I say, I would have seen it as a sign that I wasn't well again, that I had something wrong with me, that I had some kind of depression or anxiety, or there was something not okay about me. And I would have then got caught up in a whole range of tools and techniques. So I would have perhaps tried to meditate it out, or tap it out, or affirm it out, or just have something playing in the background to get rid of it. All sorts of different things I would have got caught up in. And I guess none of us do that when we're feeling those preferable feelings, do we? Like if we're feeling happy, we don't go, oh, where's the happiness coming from? What's the source of it? Why do I feel happy now? Because when I was 3, I had this experience that created this happiness in me. And I'm being silly now, but I'm being silly deliberately, because why is it this contradiction, this thing between like this is an okay feeling and this is a not okay feeling? When in actual fact, all feelings come from one place. Whether I feel uneasy today or whether I feel happy and full of the joys of, I'd say the joys of spring then, that doesn't really work, does it? Because it's nearly winter. If I feel happy and wonderful, then I don't go into analysis of where that's coming from. What is it about these uncomfortable feelings that causes us to go into analysis and techniques and tools and labels so easily? And I had a real insight about this the other day, that perhaps it goes way, way back to the point when survival depended on those nice feelings, because eating feels nice and reproducing feels nice, doesn't it? It's okay at this time in the morning. Staying warm and dry feels nice. Having shelter feels nice. And so perhaps the drive to feel nice has been around a really, really long time. It feels like a survival technique, doesn't it? Or maybe when we're very small, we just learn that some feelings are okay and some are not. By well-meaning, innocent parents who are trying to help us to be happy, because when we're happy, they feel happier too, because they think that's the source of their happiness. And because they care about us and they want us to be okay. But at some point, somehow, we have learned These feelings are not okay. These feelings are a sign that you are not well, you are not okay, you have to do something about them, you can't stay with those feelings. It's all, there's a lot wrapped up in that. And then, the other side of it is, that the happy feelings don't bring about that same kind of analysis. So we think there's an imbalance, but in actual fact, all those feelings are the same. They don't feel the same, but they are coming from the same place. They're coming from our perspective. They're coming from our thought in the moment. We're coming from how we are relating to things. Now, not all of the time there will be, like today, I've just got this uneasy feeling. And I'm not sure. I'm not sure what it's about and why it's there. And I don't need to know, thankfully. I just know that it must mean that there's some thinking that's gone off a little bit. And so this morning I had started writing an email to somebody who has provided a service that I'm not particularly happy about. And I've left it because I've got this really uncomfortable feeling. Maybe maybe it's my thinking about that email, or maybe it's something else, but it's all to do with my thinking. So I'm going to wait before I send that email. I'm going to wait until I'm in a nicer feeling. And that's all I actually have to do. I don't have to try and get rid of the uncomfortable feeling. I just have to wait. And in actual fact, what's interesting is while my mind is distracted from the feeling, even though I'm talking about it, I'm not focusing on it because I'm talking about it like in the abstract, it's fading away because my thoughts are in another place. My thoughts are on what I'm going to say to you about this and that and the other. So as I do that, that feeling is starting to ease. Just feel a little bit like calm around my shoulders, and my stomach feels a little less journey. And how amazing is that? Like, if I'd sat here this morning and I'm not doing my live because I feel weird and uneasy and I don't like it, so I'm going to go, so I'm sit here, I'm going to meditate instead, and I'm going to do some tapping, and I'm going to, I wonder how much better I would have felt than just allowing my self-writing system to sort things out. We have an innate ability to heal both physically and emotionally that we keep forgetting about. When you cut yourself, you get a scab and it heals if you leave it alone. If you pick it, it doesn't. Doesn't stop me picking scabs though. Anyway, that's another story. But we don't have to do anything, and you don't have to do anything. All you have to do is know. Once you really know that feeling you're feeling, whatever that feeling is now, whatever feeling you are feeling right now, whether it's a happy one that's preferable or whether it's one you prefer not to have hanging about, it's all one thing. It's all one thing. That's two things, Claire. It's all one thing. It's all coming from one place. It's coming from your thought in the moment. It's coming from the perspective you have. And that's it. And just by knowing that, you don't have to be afraid of feeling. That is one of my absolutely favourite quotes from Sydney Banks, the man who kind of founded what I'm speaking about, is if the only thing we could learn was not to be afraid of our experience, that alone would change the world. Hopefully I've got it quite right. That is one of my favourite quotes. And it pops up all the time when I'm with my community learning about this, because just that encapsulates everything for me. Is I feel a bit off it today, but I don't have to be afraid of that, because in actual fact, if you're afraid of your feelings, then guess what? That puts another layer of discomfort into, particularly if you're struggling with a fear-related issue anyway, if you're stressed or you're anxious and you've already got that churning, uncomfortable feeling, and then you're afraid of feeling that, that's another layer of the same, isn't it? It's another layer of fear on top of the fear you're already feeling. And I suspect that, I know that's not helpful. And that's what can cause people to spiral into a really uncomfortable place. And it's all just okay. Like, it's okay to feel. You're just human, and you're supposed to feel different feelings, because you're supposed to be this beautiful vessel for thoughts to pass through. And that means sometimes your thinking will be anxious thinking, and sometimes it will be happy thinking, and sometimes it will be sad thinking. And from that, there will be some associated feelings. But the other way in which you don't need to be afraid of your feelings is that they're not telling anything about the outside world. They're just telling you about one thing. It's one piece of information. And I think we're overcomplicating it. I think people everywhere are seeking a nice feeling, but looking in the wrong way, looking in the wrong place. Imagine what you would do today if you weren't afraid of your feelings anymore. Well, you'd just go through your day experiencing it all with a sense of wonder, because that's what it is. Isn't it amazing that that's how we work? And knowing that every feeling you experience is fine, it's all fine, just takes a whole lot off your plate. And we all need to do that, I think, don't we? Just have a lot less on our plates. So today, maybe just play with it today. What if all those feelings were okay? What if they weren't really as important as we think they are? What if they are just, well, they are, not what if, they are just the thoughts that you have in the moment, just the perspective you have. So, enjoy your day. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Claire Dan, I'm your Wellbeing Guide, and this has been today's step from stress and anxiety to inner peace. Take care. Thank you.